Ja, diese Woche haben wir den zweiten Wochenabschnitt gelesen.
Last week we...
Wir stehen also quasi immer noch am Anfang, was wir letzte Woche gelesen haben.
So it's about the first, second and week portion. We are at the beginning of Moses, and there's probably nobody who doesn't know the story of Moses. Sometimes there's a question, how could it happen like this? Because last week we've been reading what God had made was good, and good. And the story as well is like, is this just a nice story? Or can we learn about this or out of it today, still today? Sometimes there are little words or small words who should draw our attention to. And in this passage, there's the word, God did regret that He made human, and all animals, all the living beings on earth should be destroyed. Besides Noah and all the animals on the boat, on the ark. And the question is, okay, so what does it tell us today? And in Romans it's much in every perspective. A result of the flood was the covenant which God made with Noah and all the animals. And 2 weeks before, we've been talking about this in a seminar here, about the covenant of Noah, and it is still valid. And in the Jewish tradition, it is that people who follow, who obey to the 7 rules of the covenant of Noah, they are viewed like just, even if they are not Jewish. And we shouldn't forget what we've been reading like last week with the last portions, Torah portions before. So in the beginning of the 6th chapter, there are Nephilim of the 4th time. And for example, the letter of the letter of Jude talks about as well. Talks about this passage or this the subject, and Matthew 24 talks about it as well.
Мы читали Евангелие от Матфея, 24 главу, и в этой главе также вспоминается о Ноевом потопе и так далее.
Weil die Tage des Noahs werden verglichen mit der Ankunft des Menschensohnes,
Because the days of Noah, they were compared with the days of the coming of the Messiah. And so there were two other passages in Luke 17 and 2 Peter 5, and they are both talking about this coming of the Messiah and relating to this week's Torah portion from 1 Moses 6. So we've read it in Matthew. When the Messiah comes, it will be like in the days of Noah. In the days of Noah, when God closed the door of the ark, then for everyone else, everyone outside, it was too late. And obviously for a lot of them it was surprising. So in this passage about the last week, there are interesting things mentioned. For example, we talked about Enoch in English. It's translated, where the meaning is teacher, and he called his son Methuselah. Enoch or Methuselah. Methuselah means when he dies, it will come. So if you see this chronology, you realize that Methuselah died in the year of the flood, but not because of the flood. And Enoch is, the Bible talks about Enoch as well, that he was a just man. And Noah as well, he was suffering a lot because he was righteous or just. We know the warning words that the coming of the Messiah will be like the flood. It will be like the flood, and Methuselah dying after 969 years, it will be suddenly, in a sudden. So in the Gospel of Matthew and Luke and 2 Peter, it's interesting to read these passages and to understand it, what they say, because they relate to the story of Noah, and to understand, okay, what to live in the righteousness before God, to keep living in this righteousness before God, for for us not being surprised and thinking, "Oh no, I didn't know it" or anything.
Wenn der Menschensohn gekommen ist, ist es so, wie wenn die Tür zur Arche zu.
And when the Son of Man comes, the Messiah comes, it will be like the closed door of the ark.
Und die Stellen sprechen davon, dass es eine Trennung gibt. Der eine wird genommen, der andere bleibt.
And it will be like a separation. One will be taken and one not. One other will be left.
Beziehungsweise ist der Vergleich gemacht, so wie Noah gerettet wurden die anderen vernichtet.
Or the parallel is like Noah has been saved, the others won't be saved.
Es ist ja Zeit zu verstehen, dass der Gerechte aus Glauben leben wird.
It is time to understand that the righteous man will live out of belief.
Am Beispiel von Abraham,
And in the coming weeks we will see in the example of Abraham,
dass dieses Gerechtsein vor Gott bedeutet,
being righteous before God means
völlig davon überzeugt zu sein,
being totally believing
treu ist,
that God is
dass hält, was verheißen hat.
truthful and His promises He will keep.